What's up everybody, and welcome to J3 Fireworks, and this is the first tutorial that I've done, and I plan on doing a few more for you guys. I want to spread out and do more content rather than just uploading the shows that I do. And in today's video, as you saw in the title, I'm going to show you how to speed up a firework, how to make it go faster. And so I have this cake Dragon by World Class Fireworks. It's a really good cake, and the first few rows, the fuse is right here. And it goes like this. It's a fan, obviously. The first few rows, it goes left and right as a moderate pace. And then at the back, it speeds up and goes kind of fast. And I'm going to show you how to make this thing shoot in a matter of seconds, every row. And so I already pre-cut my cake, as you can see. I cut it on the front, and I cut it on both sides here. All you have to do is take a box knife, and you run it kind of along the bottom and the side of the tubes. And then you cut two about 3-inch slits down the side, and then it'll make like a flap. And then once you refuse your firework, like I'm going to show you how to do, you can just duct tape it back so it looks brand new, or close to brand new. So what we do basically to speed up this firework is replace the fuse that it already has in it. And we can add more holes in the tubes so we can jump to different rows and we can make it go even faster. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So let's go ahead and cut the tape that covers the fuse, the protective covering on this fuse. They have tape over it, so we'll just pull all that off so we can see our fuse here. So what we do is we're just going to pull this off. We're going to pull out the fuse that they manually put in there. We don't want that. We want to make this go faster than they originally had it planned. So there are already holes from where I pulled it out. You can kind of see I have a small brass poke here. Make sure you use a brass poke so there's no chance of a spark or a charge being set off in the tube so it doesn't go off while you're working on it. So we're just going to take our brass poke and put it in the holes that they already had and wiggle around just a little bit to make the hole a little bit bigger. So do that in all the holes where you pulled the fuse. And you should be able to feel the lift powder down there. Like it sounds and feels like gravel. You maybe could hear it. You can probably hear that. And so essentially what we're going to do is replace their fuse with faster fuse. But there's more to it later, so stay tuned. So I just have a little bit of quick fuse here. This burns really, really fast. So I'm just going to cut. I'm going to stick one end in just so I can see how much I need. And then cut it at an angle. You want to cut the fuse at an angle so more of the white powder shows, or the black powder inside. So you'll just replace their fuse. This will work. It may not seem like it because you're doing it homemade, but you just want to stick, I put my fuse in there, and then I'll take a piece of tape here, and I'll just put it over the fuse, and make sure that you kind of pinch around the holes where you put it in, so the fuse stays in once it lights on one end. It doesn't wiggle out. Okay, and so then we'll take the other place where they had a fuse, stick one end in there, guess about where we need to cut it, allow for room of where it goes into the tube, cut it at an angle, and stick it in there. So can you kind of see what I'm doing here? I'm just replacing their fuse with my fast fuse and putting tape over it. And you'll be sure and want to pinch, like I said, around where it goes in so it stays in there tight. Now, so as you can see here, the cake goes like this. It goes towards me and then away from me. Then the fuse is on the other side. Towards me, around here, fuse is on the other side. So there's only so much fuse on one side because you have to account, because there's also fuse on the other side. So what we're going to do so this thing goes up really, really fast is make our own holes. So every row, if this makes sense, has our own fast fuse in it, rather than jumping each row and going to the other side like how they have it. I hope that's not confusing, but I think you see what I'm saying. So we're just going to make our own hole. So I'm going to just go about the same height as the other holes that they have manually in there, and press and wiggle around until I hear that gravel. Okay, can you hear that? I hear that gravel. Then I'm going to insert, I have to have another hole so it connects to this tube. Do the same thing with this tube here. Okay, I hear the gravel. Boom, we have our holes. So now I do what I did earlier. Stick one end in, kind of guess how much I need. Cut the end off at an angle. Stick the other end in my homemade hole. Man, I'm cutting these at perfect lengths. I usually don't do it this well. You guys are getting lucky. So, tape over it, pinch around the holes where it goes in. Okay, perfect. Now we have fast fused, fast fuse, fast fuse, nothing. We have to do that one more time. Wiggle. Here your powder. One more. Okay. Perfect. I heard the powder on all of them. Look at that. I have just about enough fast fuse left there. So I'll stick one end in. I think I'm going to have just about enough. Stick the other end in. Perfect. Okay. Take our tape. And pinch, as I have said 100 times already. So boom, right there. Now, if you would like, you can do that. What we just did to this side, you can do to this side. I'm not going to do it again because I just showed you. You can do it from this side. That would make it go even faster because the tubes will be going off on both sides. Just make sure you add fast fuse to where every tube is connected. Now, if you're a pyro and you're using E-matches or even talent igniters, I guess, or I guess you could hand light it, they already have their fuse here, the one that they put in the factory. We can add one in the back if we would like. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to do that, but you would just take your punch and put a hole in here in the very back and put your own fuse in there, tape it up, and then you could light it on both ends. So that would make it go even faster. So you can control how fast you want this to go off. So really you can get pretty creative. What I just showed you is all you need to know, and then you can take what I showed you and do whatever you would like with this cake. Have fun with it and be safe, everybody.